In a quiet African village where the sun leaned gently on the red earth and the wind carried stories older than memory, lived a man named John. He was not the kind who drew attention. No, John was ordinary, tall, lean, with the look of someone who had wrestled more with his thoughts than with people. His hands were rough from famine, his eyes weary from watching seasons come and go. They said the wind spoke in that village, whispered secrets to those who dared to listen. But who listens to the wind anymore? One year, the rains forgot their way home. The river shrank like an old man's sigh. Cracks appeared on the land and in people's hearts. The laughter at the market grew faint, and prayers rose like smoke from every hut. John kept walking, though his farm mocked him with his dryness. One evening, as he sat by his doorway, the air shifted. The wind rose and spun a little dust around his feet. He looked. Then it came, the whisper. Not loud, not frightening, just there. Listen. He froze. The sound vanished. But his heart, his heart kept echoing that single word. Listen. Night turned restless. The whisper followed him, in the hush of trees, in the sigh of the dying stream. Finally, one moonlit night, he could bear it no longer. He rose, took his lantern, and walked into the forest. The trees seemed to part for him. Owls watched silently. The wind guided his steps until he reached the old Iroko tree, the one the elder said was home to spirits. He stood there, trembling, and the wind spoke again. The earth thirsts. But it is not only the earth that thirsts. John fell to his knees. Who are you? He asked. Only silence. Then a soft breeze touched his face, almost like a hand. From that night, John began to hear differently. He heard more than noise. He heard meaning, the sadness in a mother's voice, the courage in a child's laugh, the heartbeat of the earth itself. People said he had gone mad. Maybe he had. But soon, strange things began to happen. Where John planted, crops grew grain. His goats thrived. Even the birds came closer when he walked. Children followed him just to sit and feel calm. The people whispered, not about the drought anymore, but about John. The chief summoned him. What power do you use? They demanded. What spirit follows you? John bowed his head. I serve no spirit but truth, he said. The wind told me, we have forgotten gratitude. The drought is not in the sky, it is in our hearts. At first, they laughed, but an old woman began to cry. He speaks true, she whispered. That night, John gathered everyone in the village square. He asked each person to bring a little water, even a handful, and pour it onto earth while saying one word of thanks. At first, only the children did, then the women, then slowly the men. Soon the air filled with voices, gentle, trembling, thankful for life, for my child, for today. When the last drop fell, the wind rose suddenly, cool, strong, alive. It danced around them, lifting dust and joy into the air. Then came the rumble of thunder, deep and distant. Rain began to fall. They wept, they danced, they forgot pride and remembered wonder. From that night, John was no longer a madman. He became the village's quiet teacher, a man who reminded others that peace doesn't always speak in words. Sometimes it breathes. Years passed. John grew old. The rains failed again. He asked to be carried to the old Iroko tree one last time. The villagers gathered. His voice was faint but steady. "I am listening," he said. The wind rose once more, gentle, wrapping around him like an embrace. Some swore they heard laughter in it, others heard singing. When they returned to the village, clouds gathered. Rain fell softly through the night. They buried John beneath the Iroko, where the wind still speaks. And sometimes, when the breeze brushes your ear, if you listen closely, you might just hear him too. Moral: sometimes the answers we chase are already waiting in the quiet. When a man learns to listen, truly listen, even the hardest ground can bloom again.